Good evening, everyone. Happy Sunday. Hope everyone is well. So, again, tonight's show, we're going to go over yesterday's results. Probably talk a little bit about the up and coming fixtures, and then we have something else that we're going to be talking about. But yeah, let's go. Let's go straight to the results from yesterday. Catford beat Independent 5-0. The postponement of the Masters and Kawuya, and Metrogas losing in the cup to Greenwich. Sorry. Metrogas beating Greenwich 2-1. Sorry, apologies. So this is how the table's looking right now. Greenwich is still top. Masters are second. Hollington third. Leonie Stars fourth. Kawuya fifth. Metrogas sixth. Catford seventh. Independent eighth. And Santos ninth. And these are the fixtures for next week right now. So we have Hollington versus Clapham Community in a cup. We have Independent versus Hale End in a cup competition. And we have Masters versus Leonie Stars in the cup. And then we've got Sporting Santos versus Kawuya in the Premier League. Let me take this off. So before we start, Nana, welcome to the show. Nana is the manager, coach of Catford Wanderers, and the person that's speaking right now is the best vet centre back in the universe. Let's.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
You know what? Okay. Let me behave. All right. So, Nana, do you want to talk about yesterday's game against Independent? Let's talk about let's kind of talk about it as a whole first, and then let's break it down from the first half to the second half.
First of all, good evening, everybody watching. Apologies for the lights. My missus has decided to turn the Christmas lights on now. The tree's up. The tree has been up for a couple of weeks now, and she decided to turn the lights on now. In this house, when it comes to those things, I don't have any say. So I like my peace. So apologies if the lights are flickering, but that's what it is for. Evening, Wiz.
Evening, Wiz.
Evening, gentlemen. Sorry I'm late.
That's all right. So back to the game. Independent versus Catford is always going to be a dogfight. It's always going to be a keenly contested game for various obvious reasons. Quite a few players from there still play left Independent and play for Catford. One or two players also from Catford to Independent. It's a big family at the end of the day. But when we cross that line on that grass is war, which is how I wouldn't expect any other way. When we finish, I expect handshakes. The best team win, and we go away. This game yesterday could have been quite a volatile game, again for various reasons, especially because of what happened the last time these two teams met. So my prayer was that this game should go ahead without any hitch, any glitches, and without any incidents.
Yeah, but hold on, Nana. But what happened last game for it? Like there was like nothing volatile. Like Independent beat us fair and square.
Yes. The last game we played against them, you lifted a man in the middle of the pitch for a crazy foul. Have you forgotten that?
Who, the Breeze? Shock.
Yes,
Shock.
exactly. So, it could have been anything. Sorry, apologies. 1 second. So I was hoping that this game will go ahead without any issues. And by and by, it did. It did. I think the best team won on the day. The game was really over after 30 minutes after halftime. I think by 30 minutes, I think we're 3-0 up. We've been playing well, apart from one game that I felt that we were poor, which is the Kauya game. We're creating crazy chances. Last week against Bromelians, it could have been double figures for us. We ended up winning 3-1. So, and I said before that I'm confident. My worry would have been if you're playing football, you're still not creating the chances, then that becomes the problem. But we're creating so many chances, individual mistakes, missing those chances as well. Hence, we are where we are. But I wasn't too worried because we're creating chances. And when you're not creating chances, when you're not winning football matches, the confidence also becomes very, very low. So if the goals start going in, you see everybody's tails up. Everybody, and that's exactly what happened so far as I'm concerned with this game. Everything that could go on well for us aligned perfectly. The early goal helped. I think within 10 minutes we were up. So the early goal helped settle things down. The consistency didn't drop the whole of the half. It was keenly contested. Every header, every tackle. It was very controlled aggression, which was really, really good to see. I think by 30 minutes we were 3-0. I think the third goal really, you could see heads go down, but you knew, we always know Independent will always fight tooth and nail to the very end. And that was instructions to every single player that if you go up or go down, you don't change anything. You just keep the consistency going. By halftime, I think we were 5-0, which settled the camp even more. Even at halftime, when we went in terms of the team talk, I was reluctant to make any changes because I know the first 10 minutes of the second half was going to be absolutely crucial, especially with the way Independent were going to come out. And indeed, they did. I think we made only one substitution because of injury issues. The half they puffed, but as the first early goal didn't come for them, it settled us down even more, and I could see a bit of heads dropping at times. It's only normal in terms of body language and all that, and we sort of controlled the rest of the game. In the second half, he still in the 5-0. I was able to get some 10 minutes on the pitch after a long time.
Cameo, yeah,
So,
I like it.
yes, cameo. So, it was. Yeah, I'm telling you, it was good. It was good to see the smiles on the face of the boys. Because they've been working really, really hard. And when you're losing football games, sometimes people want to leave. People are frustrated. The numbers drop. All those things. So it's been a really, really trying time. The last few weeks have been decent because we won a couple of games. Some of the big players are actually stepping up and not only, doing their best on the pitch, they're doing their bits off the pitch as well, which is helping. We've always been a group, a good, strong group, which is helpful. Halftime, for example, when I went to talk with the management team, I said, listen, 1, 2, 3, you go and talk to the team before we get there, which gives other people responsibility to talk to the team, to talk amongst themselves and figure out what they're going to do before the extra information comes on, which was good to see because it gives people more responsibilities. They talk among themselves, they get to know each other, and they raise themselves up together. It was a really, really good performance yesterday, and I was really, really happy with the result.
Before I talk about my own analysis of the game, big like shout out to Wiz. Thank you so much for like coming on. Actually, first and foremost, has he like he's disappeared?
Yeah, he didn't want to
Wizard,
hear your
where's
voice,
your
mate.
wand? Has he disappeared? All right, well, let me just kind of talk about like the game on like my perspective. So yeah, so I like played like the full game, and you know exactly what Nana said. You know, it's again against like my like former team, who I actually do like. You know, honestly, it's a kind of well run club, and I get, you know what, it was like just another game. I know Nana. And again, actually, I'm not going to talk about in terms of what Nana said to like certain players, but like I said, look, like, you know, we just have to play our game, and then everything else will just fall into place. You know, which it did. First half for me was it was good. You know, personal battles won. Started off probably a little bit slow. Again, like the ground wasn't really like the best, and you know, and of course, like it's kind of natural to kind of feel your way into, you know, literally into like the game. And yeah, you know, I felt really comfortable. Again, you know, myself, Tony, Mel, Yinka, and Reese as well, who literally had an amazing game. Again, really kind of comfortable, you know, and yeah, second half was probably a little bit more difficult. It was a kind of different person up front, who was a lot more mobile, and you know what, you know, again was kind of probably pulling myself and Tony a little, you know, literally a little bit more. But I mean, again, like the damage was done in the first half, and you know, again, you know, exactly what Nana said. You know, it was a kind of controlled, emotional game, which was, you know, done right. And listen, you know, again, like I know that there's like, you know, like people have probably watched a few episodes in terms of Independent, in terms of them getting relegated and things like that. You know what, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter. Honestly, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter if Independent go down to Division 4, Catford go down to Division 5. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. Just like for me, that the biggest thing for me is making sure no Vets team folds. Because if a team folds, then what are those group of men going to be doing on a Saturday? You know, that's like for me like the biggest thing. Just as long as you're playing football, myself, Mel, Drew, and Henry, we all had a chat. And again, big like shout out to like Drew and Henry, like some of like the OGs that we used to play with, for like Independent. And again, like they, you know, they're just enjoying their football. Like it doesn't matter how old you are, you've just got to enjoy it. Yes, there's a certain expectation when you kind of reach the Championship and the kind of Premier League, especially at the kind of, I'd say, like the, you know, I'd say like the top 3 like teams. There's a kind of expectation of winning trophies. It's, you know, like, you know, you're not just taking part, and like we all understand that. But when we strip everything away, like, you know, this show, you know, may not exist in the next 10, 15 years. You know, everything evolves as long as people are playing football. And yeah, you know what? Hey, it is what it is. It's just a game of football. But like one thing I'm gonna say, which I'm not gonna say exactly what like Mel did. So literally, of course, myself and Mel, we like came to like the ground together. So literally after like the game, you know, we kind of spoke to some of the Independent players. And then literally, as we've kind of got into my car, I'm not going to say exactly what Mel did, but honestly, literally, I was in hysterics. I was absolutely in hysterics. Because of course, myself and Mel used to play for Independent. Nana, there's Johnny as well. And, you know, again, literally, Mel, I'm not going to say what like Mel did, but again,
so why are you talking about it then?
Innit? I'm not going to say what he did. How many times do you want to tell us you're not going to tell us? Jesus, you're ever going to tell us or you're not?
No, listen. No, you know, listen, you know what? Okay, yeah, okay. So literally, of course, like this is, of course, like there's a 90-minute game, and then there's like the stuff outside of football. And literally, the only thing that Mel did, yeah, and actually, it wasn't even bad, but like he just, started. I'm saying, like he was so overjoyed with the result. I'm saying, like he was, it was kind of almost like that kind of Roy Keane, Gary Neville moment where like he was just so pumped up. He was like so kind of amped. And yeah, literally I started laughing because literally I know how much football means to him. And again, like Mel's like got like a lot of friends at Independent as well. So
sorry.
Again,
my thing got bored of you saying that you're not going to tell us what it was, and it just cut
no,
me
you know what?
Please. No, sorry. I apologize for cutting out.
You know what?
That's what I was. I was just about to cut out as well.
You know what? Honestly, like he just cheered with glee and excitement. That's really what he did. But again, I felt his emotion because
we've all been there, haven't we?
Yeah,
was it one of them ones where you have to be there sort of moment? Because I
100%.
I don't see how funny it was, but it must be one of those. You have to be there kind of moments.
It's I think I got caught on camera as well. I think I was a goal that day. I think the first time we beat Independent, I think it was 2 seasons ago.
Okay.
All the emotion was just bottled inside, and then I think we beat them 1-0 something. And right after that, I didn't know what I was actually doing. I just screamed. I think it's a passion of the game.
Like that, man. You got like that. It's just, sometimes
just let it out, and then
it's a big
that
win.
was it. Of course,
especially if you haven't won, however, for how long, it's a big win.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For Mel as well. To be fair, he the last few games he's built up, but coming to the club, it's been a huge change for him in terms of the system and personnel, and he hasn't played well. That's the honest truth. The first few games he hadn't played well. A few individual mistakes, which some of them cost the games, and it is what it is. But for me, he's one of the best keepers that we have in the league. You just have to watch the stats and shots saved and all that. So we have every faith in him to pick up, and he's showing. He was very communicative. He was commanding, came out, punched the balls, hands, good feet. So hopefully we can build from there. I was also impressed with, I'm choking trying to say it, but I was happy and impressed with the way Tobri's played. I'm really choking right here with.
It's hard. It's difficult.
It's very difficult to come out, but
I know what you mean.
Yeah, I was impressed with how he played it. Again, with the surrounding issues of this game, there was an opportunity for this game to go left or go south. With the slightest things, but I think he kept his head.
That's good.
Maybe it was also due to the fact that I told him that if there's any nonsense, I'm taking him off the pitch. Don't care whether it's 1 minute or it's 10 minutes. But he kept his head all throughout the game and did his job that he was meant to do. Which
love that, Nana.
Exactly, and it was good. So well done to Reece. Sometimes you listen. You
listen. I mean,
I weren't there, but well done on the performance to Bruce, man. Sounds like you done well, man. Congrats.
No, listen. You know what? It's a team game. And again, that's the reason why I love football, because you've got to be accountable for not only for your own performance, and again, like I just want to just dispel this myth, this kind of me versus whoever, like, man, I don't know, it's like it's silly, honestly, like genuinely it is absolutely silly. I just want to literally I just want to kind of say that there's we are grown men, and literally I'm not gonna get into any listen, Nana knows how I feel. Like Wizard, how I feel. I think literally everyone knows how I kind of feel about everything. And again, it's just a football game. Again, credit where credit's due. Like, I'm saying, literally Marlon battled well. Again, hey, like he kind of did exactly what he kind of had to do. It was kind of just unfortunate that like he was on the losing side. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
He's done. Big like shout out to Omar, quality player. Big like shout out to Nathaniel, quality player. You know what I'm saying? Like they've got players.
Omar play.
Yeah, you know what?
Play midfield.
He plays midfield, man. I mean, it's quality.
No, I know Omar. Did he play midfield?
Yeah, it's quality.
He did play midfield. I think yesterday the game plan was to neutralize their threat as well as capitalizing on our own, i.e., playing our game, by making sure that we can shut out what they can do.
Yeah,
so it was exactly what they offer. Ansan was amazing in sticking on Nathan. Our fullbacks were very good because they have some really good wingers as well. So our fullbacks were pretty good in nicking the ball before it came out wide. And our midfield stopped that ball from actually going wide or going to the top. So we basically stopped them from having a good rhythm. But when we had it, we moved around really quickly and put it into those areas where we knew we could hit them.
Yeah.
So we can play the ball further up the pitch, other than about to make silly mistakes. It was really controlled, and I was really impressed. It
sounds like it was a good performance. Congrats, guys.
Yeah, it was. I'm happy with that. But to go back to what Fabrice was saying about Independent, I don't think they're going to fold. Independent, if I know anything about Ray and the boys who are still there, it's a hard time. That's all. They're going to come back. They're going to bounce back stronger, and that's football for you. Football for you. They're going to come back stronger. They're going to be.
Happens, man. Transitions, isn't it? It's all transitions.
This is it. It's like time to recruit and rebuild.
This is it.
And before you realize it's a difficult time.
I guess once they transition, once they sort themselves out, they'll be back to themselves.
Yeah. Look at Santos. It's almost 2 seasons now, right?
Yeah.
So it's not easy. Everybody knows everybody in this vets game, that we are, especially the Prem, the Championship, all the way down, I should say. So it's very easy for players to move for whatever reason, good or bad, indifferent. And when you have 2 or even 3 of your starters or your first team players moving, it can destabilize the whole team. And especially when they move, most of the time they move and they join your rivals as well.
Yeah.
So we've seen it with Santos to Hollington. We've seen it with Greenwich Borough. We've seen it with Charcoal. We've seen it with LSU. We've seen it with Catford, actually, from Catford to Hollington. You see what I'm saying? So it happens, and it's just a matter of stabilizing the ship and slowly getting back to where you want to be.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, one more thing before I bring Wiz into the conversation properly is, I think, and someone mentioned this to me actually, that in within this like Vets League, like, there's so many teams within a 2-mile radius. So unless you are talking about friends that used to go to primary school together, friends or families, like literally everyone is really intertwined. So literally when someone moves from one club to another, I kind of understand how sometimes it can feel that like you feel they've betrayed you, but in the grand scheme of things, it's just football. We pay to play, so you've got to be happy where you are going to spend your money. And it's not a big deal. Like, just because someone's moved from one club to another doesn't mean they're not welcome into the clubhouse or they can't come and watch your game. It's like, it's not really like this in like other leagues that I've seen as well, where we also ground share as well. So we are constantly in contact with our kind of opposition. And then all of a sudden, again, that's how myself and Nana met. You know, literally, I didn't know Nana until I joined Vets. I didn't know Wiz until like Vets as well. You know, even though like I've seen Wiz at the wall. So literally, Vets had, you know, especially in South London anyway, in terms of what like, I've experienced, the community has grown, and with the knowledge that you two have, and the kind of I'd say the information that's out on like socials as well, it's only gonna get bigger, because there's like gonna be a time where all like three of us cannot continue playing at this particular level, which is cool, as long as we are paving the way for the next wave of Vets players that actually want to come and join when they're 35, 36, rather than waiting until they're 45, 46, thinking it's walking football, because it's not. Far from it. Far from it.
From players, it's easy though, like you're saying, but from management point of view, it's an absolute nightmare. It can be an absolute nightmare when you think that this is my core crop of players that I'm going to use for the season, and then 1 month to the season opener, you get 2 or 3 or 4 people saying, well, we're gone. Now you can say, well, it's just football, it's evolution, and you have to expect that, but these are some of the things that you cannot manage for.
Yeah.
You understand? If they give you prior warning and have conversations with you, then it's a lot easier for you to say, okay, you can talk to them to try and make them stay, or try and bring people in and recruit. But again, as you're saying, if it's a 2-mile radius and everybody knows each other, who are you going to recruit? You see what I'm saying? If they're not here, they are all across your rivals, and if you're happy there, they're going to stay there. So for me, if they tell you and have those conversations with you earlier on, then you at least you know they're not there, and you can plan for it.
Yeah.
For like 2 weeks of the season opener, or 1 month of the season, and then you call them and they're not even answering, and before you realize they're in someone else's WhatsApp group, and all right, it's an absolute nightmare for management, and that really hurts, especially when you feel like you build relationships with some of these players outside football, because at the end of the day, it's not only about football, isn't it? So it's about grown men being able to share their experiences on and off the pitch, bond, help each other off the pitch, and all sorts. So you tend to create bonds and some really good relationships. So when it moves, or when it moves elsewhere, if that bond is still intact, then it's all right. Then we can still have conversations, because I still talk to people in LSU, independent. I still have players that I've played with and have moved elsewhere, and we still have very, very good relationships. But when it's done the wrong way in terms of movement, then that becomes a problem. That becomes an absolute nightmare, because you work so hard just for people to come and play football on a Saturday, and people don't understand what goes on behind the scenes. So when people do that, jump ship for the sake of it, and not even let you know, yeah, it can be absolutely hard to take.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Wizard, I've got two questions for you, and again, thank you so much for like waiting patiently.
Cool, man.
Regarding exactly what Nana said in terms of moving and whatnot. I mean, how was like your move from Hollington to LSU and then back to Hollington?
Obviously, the move from Hollington to LSU wasn't difficult, but obviously I didn't know many people at first at LSU. So I guess not knowing what to expect, and obviously I think I didn't play in that league at the time. So I was playing, when I was at Hollington, they were playing like maybe is it 2 divisions or something below? I think it's like a division or 2 below at the time. So when I went to LSU, obviously remember they've asked me to come and train with them, so it wasn't confirmed that I was going to play for them. Remember, I still have to make a decision as a player whether it's the right fit for me, but then also the management have to make the decision whether I'm the right fit for them. Luckily, when I went there, it worked out that both scenarios ended up being right for both of us. But as football goes on, time changes, how things happen in the dressing room and all that changes and stuff like that. But to say my time there was brilliant, I loved it. I've made many friends there that I still talk to now. You know, played with some quality players. You know, Lloydie was, you know, we didn't all the time see eye to eye, but such a great guy. You know, so much passion and stuff like that. So, yeah. And then moving back to Holland, obviously, it's easy, isn't it? Because again, I was already there, but then my childhood friend, obviously Morris, who I've known for since we were kids, is obviously the manager. So going there, and then half of the people that you're playing with are all from round the corner from me. So transitioning back there was easy. But the only difficult thing is that obviously my time there is, well, my playing time there is very limited due to coaching and stuff like that. So I guess that's the only challenging side of things. I'm not as available as I would like to be. But one thing I can say that Morris is excellent with is that he understands that my coaching journey is obviously something that I'm looking at. So he gets that, and I'm happy to register and stay with them for another, you know, however long they want to keep me for. But me and him have a mutual agreement of you're coaching, you're available when you're available. If you're not, then it is what it is. But I always check in, always, you know, send my best wishes. I always double check on the results and stuff like that. So I'm always in contact. And even if they train and I'm available, I'll go training. So it's not like I'm not involved at all. So yeah, the transition from both was very easy. I guess the first one was, like I said, slightly difficult due to the fact that I didn't know anyone. But then that became easy as the seasons went on. And then yeah, it was there. Both times have been good.
We started the conversation with, of course, like there were like results, and she Nana said that we were beating Independent 5-0 at halftime. Have you ever been on a scoreline on like, you know, on like either front, and literally how have you personally performed in the second half as a player and also as a coach with your younger players? Have you kind of ever been on, again, either side, and literally what like do you say to your players going into the second half?
Yeah, I've been on both sides. So obviously I've played where I've been beaten, you know, we've lost heavily, and I've played a game where we've won heavily as well. So on losing heavily, there's not much you can say. I guess it is literally about, you know, it's about character and pride, isn't it? I think sometimes that's the biggest things that need to take over. If you can't, like for me personally, when I was losing, how I know it's not really a selfish thing, but you kind of look at going, right, how's my personal battle going on the pitch against the person I'm playing against? If that personal battle is even, then even though we've lost, I can kind of at least walk away with some sort of pride from the game, even though at the end of the day, no one looks at that. They look at the score, and the score says 5-0 to whoever you play against. And it's about, as a player, it's about ensuring that no one drops their heads, because, you know, it happens in football. You win some, you lose some, but it's how you deal with it as a group, and ensuring that that on the pitch, everyone just continues to give 110%, because you're only as strong as your weakest link, isn't it? So if one person gives up, then you're about to lose even more. So it's ensuring and trying to keep, even though it's very, very difficult. I would say it's very, very high on the list of trying to keep the momentum, you know, and the confidence in, and, you know, just make sure everyone's got that pride. Because like we always say, you can't force people to have the fire and determination in their belly, you know, but you can lead by example by running around a little bit harder. Then someone might see and go, oh, you know what? Yeah, Hubs is running around. We need to step up. Where if you just automatically pie it off everyone, it just becomes infectious. It can be infectious both ways, can't it? You know, if you run around and you show a bit of fire, someone might want to lead and follow the example. But if you sulk around and do nothing, then again it leads someone continues to do that. And yeah, I've been on the winning side where it's been quite heavy. And again, it's about change, because you can come when you're winning heavily and you feel like the game's easy, you then do things different. Then you start complicating the game. And then when you start complicating the game, you start doing things that you may not usually do. Then that's when you give the other team the inkling of them being able to get into it. Because all it takes is one goal for them to get a little bit of belief. Then you then switch off, and then another goal comes, another goal. By the time you know, it's like 5-3, and then there's hope. So I would say when you're playing, it's ensuring that no one steps off, no one takes their foot off the gas. Everyone continues to do what we was doing that got us in that position. And then, if positive things happen, you might get more goals. It's not taking advantage of the fact that you are winning, take your foot off the gas, start doing extra stuff. No. Keep it simple, keep doing what you're doing, because we're in this position because we did ABC right. So we continue doing ABC and see out the result, and don't give the opposition any chance to have any belief in the game. And I don't know, if you're asking about the kids, it's the same thing. I think it's a bit difficult with the kids because obviously some kids, you're going to get really emotional ones. So it's how you manage them personally, isn't it? So if you've got one that's really emotional, what I've done in the past is I've brought them off. But when I've brought them off, I've explained to them, like, look, this is why I'm bringing you off. It's not because you're having a bad game. I just need you to manage yourself a bit better, and then just go on and continue to do what you're doing. It's about your development. I'm not really looking at the score. And then obviously they've gone back on at times. I'm not saying it's worked all the time, but some have gone back on and, done well. And some have actually turned around and said, like, I just can't do it. It's cool. Like, I'm not going to force you. Because what am I doing to your confidence if I just put you back out there and you're not ready to do it? I'm not helping you, and it's going to deteriorate your development. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so true. Now, you know what I mean? It was funny because again, at halftime, actually, I mean, it's like the conversation that Nana had with us against Kawuya, completely different tone and manner from, of course, the conversation yesterday. And like for me personally, I can only speak on like me again. Like, it was a very calm. I didn't feel under pressure. I didn't feel as if I like did anything that was different. I felt fresh, and again, it was just saying, okay, you know what I did in the first half worked. So going into the second half, yes, of course, Independent, they kind of perked up a little bit, 100%. Like, they were kind of going in like a little, they were kind of slightly more, I won't say aggressive, but like the impetus were on them to actually win the second half. I mean, I know that's a phrase, but hey, like it is what it is. Pride. It's pride, right? It's pride. And it was kind of one of the things that I felt that, again, like the whole team was just very controlled. We didn't have to go searching. Literally, we didn't have to go. Yeah, we didn't have to go hunting for the ball in like certain situations. And again, it was very, very controlled. And again, I've like been on. I've been hammered 9. I've been hammered 9.
Yeah, I remember clearly.
Yeah, and again, it wasn't nice. It wasn't nice being like on the receiving end of 9, because again, like you are now trying to, exactly what you said before, was that you are trying to win your own personal battles, and if I can do that, then I can leave the game with some sort of pride. But you don't, not being hammered by like 9.
Nah.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted. What Wiz was saying, that context is entirely different.
Why is it?
Because one of the 9-1 hammerings that I've seen you be at the end of was, I think, when you play for Wimbledon Town.
Yeah, I know.
Or wherever it is. And if the game is tight and things are not going on well for you, I get that. But Wizard, how do you come off a pitch feeling a bit like, I want to build my battles, when you are the captain and you're the centre back, and the same ball goes over the top 6 times for the same kind of goal?
Will you
6 times? Right? Wait, hang on. Let me finish. You cannot feel any kind of way. and compare it to what Wizard is saying. No. If you
Okay.
are the center back and captain and the ball is coming the same way, 1, 2, 3. After the first and second time, you're like, hey, let me fix up.
No,
me
I was
ring
just
up,
about to, I was
run
just
back.
about to
You see what
say,
I'm
do you
saying?
not?
But like 3, 4, 5, 6, and you want to say, oh, at least I won battle. What battles did you win? 6 times went past you. There was no battle business. So don't ever compare yourself in the same analogy what Riz is saying. Yeah. If you get 9 past you, 6 of them the same goal, and you are there, the center defender. I'm sorry, but you're a dumbass.
Yeah, no, I get where it's coming. I get where it's coming
Yeah.
from, because
Right.
at some point, you must have turned around and said, "Well, I've got to make an adjustment here."
Exactly.
Well, you know what?
Exactly.
I made. You know what? Like the adjustment was made too late. It was. It was made too late. But you know what? But again, like you live and you learn,
Oh,
right?
boy.
Yeah,
Honestly,
no,
like
you do. No, you do. You do. You learn from your mistakes, isn't it? You learn from your mistakes. Obviously, apparently, you've learned from it so much that you're now the best in the universe. So
well, I mean,
I'm
you
just
listen,
saying.
but you literally, I kind of claim that title. You know, I've been saying that for years.
I respect it. No, I respect it. I respect it. I respect it.
Let's kind of go into a few questions, and again, thank you to everyone who's watching. If like, anyone wants to put in a comment, please feel free. Or a comment or like any or any questions, please feel free. So let's like start with you, Wiz.
By the way, you froze, right?
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
literally.
Good.
For some reason, I froze, but like you guys can actually hear me, which is
No, I can hear you. I'm just the picture.
yeah.
The
I
picture
mean,
looks brilliant. So I'm just.
I know. I mean, you know what? That's probably how I felt yesterday after
First.
after like the game. So hey, why not? So like Wiz,
Oh, Lord.
let's kind of start with you. First question to you is: what have you found to be the most effective way to literally support your players mentally, especially with the pressures that are going on at home? So again, with the kids' school work and injuries and whatnot, what have like you found to be the most effective way?
We're talking about. Are you talking about like in vets or just in my coaching like my men's team? What are you talking about?
Let's kind of go with your kind of expertise and your coaching journey.
All right. Well, I try and I try and tap into like about them, because like obviously everyone goes through something, innit? And what you don't want to do is you don't want to put anyone in a position where they might not be mentally ready. Obviously, we always say that football is a release and stuff like that, but at times there's a lot more going on at home, with yourself that it's bigger than football. So what I usually do is I'll always check in with the players, during the week at training, before a game and stuff like that. And I'll always offer my advice. I'll always have a conversation with them. If there's anything I can support them with, because in football and in any line of work and anything you do, you only get the best out of someone or the best out of yourself whether you're happy and you're focused. I think when you're not in that right frame of mind, that's when you ain't gonna get the best out of someone. So yeah, I'll check in. Like prime example, like yesterday, one of the boys was injured, but he was like desperately wanted to play. So I said to him, look, let's go outside. We'll have a look at how you're feeling, whatever. Anyway, I said to him, look, just be honest with yourself. I know you want to play, but there's more games to come. If you can go on the bench, you're going to impact the game at some point. No, let me know. So we went out, done a little fitness test and stuff. And he said to me that he goes, it hurts a little bit when I do certain things. So I said, you know what we'll do? We'll have a week at the gaffer. We won't start you, but obviously we'll keep you in mind for playing. So he said, yeah, no problem. And he said, I appreciate you asking me, because he said, I just didn't want to be pied off and not put, So I said, no, it's cool. Like, we need to know where you're at, how you're feeling and stuff like that, because it's not fair that also if we throw him into the game, because we've got quite a big squad, it's like some people get dropped, some people don't. And what you don't want to happen is that he then tries to play, doesn't do well. we don't check in on what's going on, and then he gets dropped, and he's like, "Well, it was this reason," and then we're like, "Right, one, you didn't communicate, and two, we didn't communicate with you to double check how you was." So we're then losing a player. So anyway, yeah, he got it, was happy, sat on the bench, came on, he changed the game for us. Came on, played a ball. He set up one. He played a ball that he didn't set up. Obviously, he's crossed it. It's caused a bit of confusion. Someone else has set it, and we scored. We end up winning the game 3. We was 1-0 down. We end up winning the game 3-1. So and then I pulled him aside and I said, "Look, well done. Like, you get why we didn't start you straight away." And he's like, "No, 100%. Like, I get it. Thank you so much." And it's just how you manage people, because I think also with him being a bit younger, the pressure of wanting to play and perform and stuff like that, but knowing that he's carrying a knock, he might not have been able to do that if he started, because he might have been playing on his mind. But because I gave him the opportunity to, really think about it, because even on the bench, he could have turned around and said, "I'm not 100%, don't bring me on." But I said to him, "You ready? Do you reckon you go on?" He said, "Yeah, I can definitely go on." Change the game. We won the game. So that's how I kind of do things. I try and focus a bit more on like man management. I think sometimes that goes a bit of a miss. Yes, you are winning games, and yes, it is a results game, but at the same time, we're dealing with human beings, and it's about dealing with them appropriately. And remember, everyone's an individual. Not everyone works, and not everyone is the same as everyone else. Like, you can have a player that you can shout at, but then the other player needs a little arm around them. A little bit more time to speak and discuss things with. So it's how you manage them scenarios in different times, and that's what I try and do within my coaching. But within my coaching is that approach everyone very, very different. But I think also maybe that comes in with the line of work that I do outside of football, which also plays a part. So I kind of intertwine both together.
Amazing. And Nana, same question.
Yeah, can you repeat the question to Reese?
What have you found to be the most effective way to actually support your players through at times of hardship?
It's a variety of things. It's obviously when it's the kids, like ways the same, it's different, I suppose, when you're managing grown men. And it definitely transcends from your everyday life in terms of how you deal with things on a personal level. Because if you don't understand yourself, you're not going to be able to understand someone. I manage people on a day-to-day basis for work as well, and it's about understanding someone's emotional intelligence. First of all, understanding yourself and how to get the best out of someone, irrespective of what they're going through. So it's about open communication. It's about simple things like checking in on people. And for me, I think that's the most difficult part of this management business. I'd like to think Catford is built on supporting each other. There'll be so many conversations in the group. We would have put someone there, or this guy's not feeling well, everybody check up on him. Sometimes I'll say, listen, for example, I think last Christmas, I put a message in the group. If you're feeling down, if you're alone, just come home. There's food here. Come eat. I don't need to do that, but I feel we are family. So if I have something on my plate and you don't have any, I'm able to share it. And those are the bits and pieces of things that create an environment where people want to be around. Because it's not only about football; it's genuine connections and genuine relationships. So you keep having communication, you keep having conversations with someone, genuinely checking on them to see how they're doing. And once you do that, they tend to, believe in you, or believe in the status quo, believe in the agenda, and then they buy into that agenda. And it goes a long way, because then those people become your core. And that, if I'm not here and someone takes over, because that ethos has been built from management throughout the club, it stays. If that makes sense. So if I'm not here and someone comes to take over, that is going to, be maintained. That is going to be sustainable, going forward. On the pitch, is sometimes you can scream and shout and whatnot because the passion is there, but you have to understand what's happening with that player. There might be something happening off the pitch that you're not aware of. So understand that player, understand what is going on, know when to encourage, and know when to proverbially put a foot up the backside. It is what it is. If you understand the emotional intelligence, you know that, okay, this person can take this criticism this kind of way. That person cannot. That person needs a conversation in private, and that person needs an open conversation. It's knowing, again, how people react to certain things, how people will respond to whatever you say and how you say it, and being able to deliver your message to them in the right channels so you can get the best out of them. And that for me is the basics. Right now, you're not going to teach anybody at our age. You're not going to teach anybody how to play football. You're going to teach them basics of football. But if you have a pattern, if you have clear instructions on this is what we want you to do, understand their strengths and their weaknesses, and then create something that will bring the best out of them, make their strengths better, and make their weaknesses minimized, that's brilliant. But most importantly, if you're able to create a situation where they can all buy into what you're trying to do, it gives that extra 10% to play out of their skin, and win football games. That's how I would put it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, great. And then, I'm going to kind of stick with you with the next question. What type of characteristics do you think a Vets player needs to play for one of the top 3 clubs in this division?
Top 3 characteristics. Obviously, you have to have football brain. Vets league is not working football as people think. And as we can see that in the top 3 divisions, we got players who are ex-semi-pros, players who have played in the Prem, etc., etc. So we have to have a footballing brain to play in this top 3 leagues. Some are not everybody is fit. The top division, most people are fit. As it goes lower down the divisions, the fitness goes down, but the footballing brain is absolutely there. I would say the other character, you have to have a thick skin, because at the end of the day, it's competition. You have to have a thick skin, and you have to be resilient in what you do, because there's going to be highs, there's going to be lows, and you have to be tough to be able to withstand the test of time. When there's hard times, how do you lift yourself up and lift the people around you? And when is the good times, how do you maintain it and again push it across everybody that yes, these are good times, but don't let it drop. Let's maintain it and let's push forward to make it better. You have to be able to listen. You have to be able to listen to instructions. I'll say that's the third thing I'd say. You have to be able to listen to instructions, because what you did 25 years ago is not what you are today or what you can do. And unfortunately, a lot of players sometimes think that, yeah, I used to play for West Ham, I used to play for this player, I used to play for Arsenal or whatnot, so I should be treated differently, or I should be this, I should be that. No. I'm sorry, what you did all those years ago is what you can do now. So keep that ego at home. When you come and you join the group, just listen to the instructions, because a lot of teams, and I assume the same management, are looking at everybody and trying to put the best team forward. try to put the best instructions forward, so that collectively we can win a game of of football. Those are the three things I'd say that the best player needs in the top three divisions.
Same question to Wizard.
I think Nana's said quite a lot of it. To be fair, I'd say definitely like being a team player, because in vets football we all know that you need a squad. It needs to be a big squad. Multiple people are going to be signed and stuff, because life in general, things can happen. But then if you've got a big squad, it's understanding that it takes a squad to win things. I think sometimes you may go into it and be an individual, but that also comes with the environment and the group, the way the group's made. I definitely would say football IQ, because the players and level you're playing against are very good. Some might not be able to move as well as they used to, but their brain doesn't stop. So football IQ is quite important. I would definitely say fitness. You have to be fit, because again, like me, it was a bit of a shock to me that the level and the way that people can move was a lot different to what I expected when I first joined vets. What else? That's really about it. Because Nana said majority of it, but I definitely would say like a team player. Fitness, football IQ. I think they're quite up there. And I'd say like being able to take criticism, because you're gonna be you're gonna be in a group with grown men that are gonna scream and shout, winners and stuff like that. So they're gonna say things and they don't mean anything by it, but they will say it because they obviously want to win. They want the best they want the best for you, the team, and themselves. So if things ain't going right, they're gonna let you know. So it's just taking on board what's being said. If it's something you disagree with, talk about it after the game. But that's about it, really. I think they're the main. They're like Nana touched on a few of them, and I think that's a couple other things that I would say.
And let me start with you, Wizard. With the kind of last question for like this episode is what coaching principles do you believe will always stand the test in time?
What do you mean? As in like principles, as in what, the way you play and stuff like that?
However you want to take it.
Well, coaching principles can be, you have an idea and it's ensuring that you're able to implement them. And I think moving the ball, making the game simple will always stand the test of time. I think sometimes as a coach, when you're watching or when you're coaching, people will do some things that don't need to be done when the simple things there to be done, and it just makes the game and makes them look better on the ball. So I think it's just like ensuring that principle is always implemented when you're doing things, that do things simple, do things the right way, and then it will all fall into place.
Yeah, cool. And Nana?
I think I'll go to the other end of it and say honesty and transparency. It's straight lines. It has to be straight lines. Less politics. If you're honest and transparent with your players, I think you are able to get the best out of them, because then they can understand what the situation is. They can understand what is going on, and most often than not, they'll, as a collective, they will understand and help you through that process. If you're not honest, if you're not transparent, say when your manager, friendship goes out or the window in terms of team selection or this, or you see what I'm saying. You can't say, well, Tobias is my friend, so he's always gonna play. No, I mean, let's be clear, he's a shit defender, so You know, he barely gets on the pitch, but so that's probably not there. Or is he frozen?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
frozen.
frozen, but I can still hear you. But again,
good.
I
I just
I
wanted to
technically
reassure you.
yesterday.
He's keeping a straight face there. I can see.
Yeah,
Yeah, but you get the point I'm trying to make. You have to be honest. You have to be transparent. You have to put the team first, and that's the only way I know how to do. And I think that once you do that, collectively everybody jumps on board, buys into the idea of what you're trying to do, and that will stand the test of time. That will, when anybody's joining you, the team or the club, they're joining based on those principles that you have, and for longevity purposes, for me that would be the best way forward.
Cool, fellas. Thank you so much for coming on, and again, wishing everyone an amazing week. Let me just kind of put on the thumbnail again, because I absolutely love. No, listen. I mean, hey, it is what it is.
You should have talked about the fixtures for next week and the predictions.
Oh well, I did. Fixtures for next week.
Did you? Oh, yeah.
Hollington versus Clap. Is that Clapham Community? Because I can't read.
Yeah, it says Clapham Community FC.
FC men's about 35s.
Independence got Hayland Athletic. LSU have got Leone Stars, and Sporting Santos have got AFC Greenwich.
Yeah, so I believe those have.
Three of them are cup games, and one of them's a league game.
Yeah, so literally that's the London Cup. So literally that's a London Cup. I think out of those 3 games, I think the one that's going to be quite interesting would be the Independent Hale End, because I know Hale End I think they're in the same area as Summers. So again, that's going to be a very interesting game. Don't know how they travel. Of course, Independent, have to get back to winning ways. I think Hollington versus Clapham. I don't know nothing about Clapham apart from it's local. I know Hollington got beat by Greenwich 5. Was it 8-5? Wizard, can you kind of talk about that? I don't know if anything was said in the group. I don't know if you can briefly say something about that game.
No, just as far as I'm aware, they weren't happy with the result. They weren't happy with the performance. I guess take nothing away from Greenwich, but from what I got in the group, it weren't a great day at the office, and everyone within themselves wasn't happy with what happened. So I guess this game on Saturday coming is, a game to make things right. I think they were meant to play this week. I think they were meant to play yesterday. It got cancelled, if I'm correct. I can't remember.
Is it Hollington?
I think so. I think they was meant to play.
I think it was postponed or something.
Yeah, it got called off, I think. So they weren't able to play. So I guess this weekend coming will be the opportunity to bounce back.
Yeah. And then, of course, Masters versus Leone Stars. I think that that game could go either way. Leone Stars have been picking up points. So literally that game could go either way.
I guess it's like we always say, it depends on what team they put out.
Yeah, it's getting colder, so it gets difficult for the Leone Stars.
So they might not have their players. Fair enough. So I might go LSU win then.
Yeah, and then and then of course there's Sporting Santos versus Greenwich. So Sporting Santos got a really good result against Independent a couple of weeks ago, and of course Greenwich top of the league. They lost against Metrogas yesterday.
In the cup,
I think that's going to be a very interesting tie,
Yeah, because again,
Sporting Santos they're a funny one, isn't it? They can turn up when they want. And if they have the right personnel, and some of the games I've watched, they've created a lot of chances, and they haven't finished their dinners.
Yeah,
because if they do, and this is a home for Santos as well. It's going to be an interesting tie. But
No,
I expect Greenwich to win.
yeah, with the 20,000 players Greenwich has got, I can't put it past them winning.
Yeah, but it won't be an easy win for Greenwich. It'll be
It'll be a tough win, but I reckon they'll win.
Yeah. Okay. So literally, all right. So I'm going to go with a Hollington win against Clapham. I'm going to go with an independent win against Hale End. I'm going to go with a Masters win at home, and then I'm going to go for an upset. I'm going to go with a Sporting Santos win. I'm going to go with all home teams winning.
Nah.
I'm going to agree with you apart from a draw at the bottom there.
No, I'll go Hollington I'll go Hollington. I don't know. I'm only going to go independent because I have no idea about Hayland. I'll go LSU, and I'll go Greenwich Borough.
Okay. Yeah, similar.
And then
obviously,
the only reason why I say LSU is if LSU is on the Astro, that will play a big part.
Leonie starts to move the ball about,
No. I know they can play. I know they got players, but I'm like, I've played for LSU. I know the team's different now and stuff, but I'll go with them on the Astro. I'll go with them to win.
Yeah, fair play.
And what about you, Nana?
Same as the top three home sides. I know nothing about Clapham and Hill. I expect LSU to win that game. I think Greenwich Borough wins, but I'd like a draw or an upset. Obviously, I'm in the Prem, so
yeah,
a draw or upsets will do us good.
Cool. Fellas, thank you so much for coming on. We will be back next week.
Why'd you look so surprised in the picture?
No, well, the reason why I looked so surprised because Nana said I was starting yesterday. So,
to be fair, I would look like that as well if Nana told me you were starting.
I can have literally thought I was going to be the linesman, but no, like he said, no, to please, you're going to start. So I'm like, all right, cool.
Fair. I didn't know. Where did you play at home yesterday?
Yeah, you were home.
I didn't know your ground looked like that.
No, you know what? It only looks like that in my head.
Oh, to be fair. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, just like in his head, he's the best centre back. Yeah.
I
makes
bet,
sense, isn't it?
This is the universe that he lives in. I get it
bro, that's my universe. That is
my
universe.
Hey, Nana, the universe is so mad. Look how small the pictures that he's on. That's why it's so.
It looks like a 3-a-side pitch, isn't it?
That's what I'm saying. This is why it's so good because he hasn't got to cover so much ground. So no wonder he's getting away with murder.
Oh, bloody hell.
Fellas, thank you so much. And again, everyone that's watching, thank you so much. We will be back next week, Sunday. Have an amazing week.
Yes.
You too. Lessons, man.